For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Emily Kate. How's it going today, Emily?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. It's great to have you back on the podcast. I know we were trying to do this back when your EP first released, but life being life, we had to reschedule, and luckily, we were able to get you on today. So I'm really excited to sit down and chat with you a little bit and get to know more about the EP and everything else you got going on.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before we kind of jump into the EP, you are a return guest, but it's been, almost a year at this point? Has it been that long?
Probably.
Just what's kind of a quick refresher on who you are, where you're from, all that fun stuff for the people that are just tuning in.
For sure. I'm Emily Kate, and I was born and raised in Toronto, still there currently. I'm 24 years old, and I've been pursuing music as a career for about a couple of years now. Started recording my own music the last year that I was in university, and now I am still recording out of Waterloo, which is close to Toronto, with my producer. His name's Sean Moore, and he's actually up for a CMAO Producer of the Year award.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know all that. That's awesome.
Which is really exciting. He's very hardworking, and I mean, it's awesome working with him. So I've worked with him on this EP that we'll get to eventually to talk about today. And I'm actually working on new music in the future with him as well.
Awesome.
And so currently just trying to do as many live shows virtually as I possibly can this past year, as everyone has been. But kind of in the future, I'm really trying to put my foot more into in-person live shows when those open up, and kind of hopefully I can meet some people that I've met online in person, which would be really fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's the weird thing to think about, that we've already been in lockdown for almost a year and a half at this point. And yes, shows are slowly starting to come back, but it's still going to be maybe another 90 days before they're really back. Yeah,
exactly.
At least here in the States, that's the way I see it. But yeah, we'll see. So for kind of another refresh, who introduced you to music?
From a young age, my family was always very musical. I have two brothers, and my parents put all of us in piano lessons from a very young age. Started that, which is where I really learned my music theory and how to read music, and what keys are, and like all that. But as I grew older into high school, I stopped piano and I started picking up the guitar. And that's where my love for country music really stemmed from. I think I was always someone who, when I listened to a song, I would listen to the lyrics and just dive into the story. So that's also another reason why I connect a lot with country music. And in high school, I was in choirs, but that's so different versus now being a solo artist. So I've kind of tried to transition a little bit this past couple of years into a probably country pop artist. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into the new EP that you just dropped. Or what's it been, a month at this point? It's probably been about a month at this point.
Yeah.
All In, which is it's your debut EP, correct?
It is, yeah.
First off, congratulations. I know how hard musicians work just to release music, but to get that first EP out, especially during a pandemic, is incredible. Um, what's kind of going through your mind now that the EP's been out for about a month?
Well, first off, the support that I've received from everyone during the pandemic has been really amazing. A lot of my fans and friends and family have been connecting to this EP, and that's the whole reason why I started writing and recording my own music.
Mm-hmm.
I am that artist that writes from, takes everyday life and turns it into a song. And I find a lot of the times people are going through really similar situations and feel similar emotions. So being able to connect to people really means a lot. And currently right now, it's only been a month, but I am already looking to record new music. It's nice. Kind of what happens when you get in that like hamster wheel. You just got to keep going and looking forward. So I'm very happy and proud, and I love the EP that just came out. But I was actually in the studio for this week on Wednesday, Thursday, recording new music. So there's a lot more coming as well.
Nice. And so the name of the EP is All In. Yeah. What's kind of the story or the idea behind the EP?
So I wrote those songs about a couple years ago. And in that time of my life, I was finishing university and I was deciding, should I pursue music as a career? Should I keep it as just a hobby? And so the title All In is really me just going all in. Yeah. It's kind of exactly what it sounds like. And that's why I wanted that to be the title of the EP, because that's kind of the main theme of the 4 songs is chasing your dreams. It's inspiring. It's that you can do whatever you set your mind to. So that's how I created that title for the EP. And there's 4 songs on it. Giant is all about chasing your dreams. It's just the first single I released. All In is about surrounding yourself with people who are all in. In my example, it was about a relationship that wasn't right for me. But I think it can really stem into any relationship that you have in your life. Make sure that your friends and family and everyone around you is supporting you. Mm-hmm. And then Space is all about, I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason. So that song is all about, if the timing's not right, let it go. And there's light at the other end of the tunnel. Yeah. And then The Whole Time is the newest song. And it kind of brings me back to those nights that we unfortunately haven't had in like a year and a half, but just having fun with your friends and meeting someone who takes your breath away. Yeah.
Awesome. What kind, or I know you'd mentioned that you wrote these songs a couple of years ago. What was the song selection process kind of like for this album?
So the first song I think I decided to record was All In. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of, I didn't really select the 4 songs and then record all of them at once. Like it was very staggered. So I chose All In to record, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to do like 1 or 2. And then The Whole Time I wrote after that. And then for Space and Giant, those were actually, Space and Giant, I'm not a songwriter on. Okay. So I'm only a songwriter on 2 of them. But those were pitches that my producer sent me a ton of songs. And those 2 I remember listening to one day, and I was like, this is exactly what I'm going through in life. Nice. If the songwriters will let me, I really want to cut this, because if I relate to it so much, I think other people will too. So yeah, it's very staggered. I didn't decide all at once. Gotcha. And it kind of became what it is.
Yeah. And then as you were kind of going through the recording or as you were going through the writing and recording process, how long would you say it took you to decide, okay, these are that we want to release this as an EP? Was it like a long drawn out process, or was it just kind of like one night it's like, oh, hey, this should be an EP?
So yeah, I didn't decide right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't take too long. I think after I had 2 songs I wrote, and then I really related to Giant in Space a lot. I think at that point I was like, I have 4 songs. As a new artist, I released them as a few of them as singles first, because I think that's a better way to promote yourself just when you're new. So I decided to do that, but I knew that they all kind of had a common theme of what was going on in my life. So I knew that, I wanted it to be an EP at the end of the day. So I think before I did record all 4 of them, I knew that it's going to be an EP.
Understood. And then how much did the pandemic screw up your release plans, or did it not really screw anything up?
So it delayed a bit for sure.
Yeah.
I had basically everything recorded on the songs except for the final vocal. And I remember I recorded the vocal for Giant, which on like March 7th, right, like a week before everything shut down. And then everything shut down. And I remember the day that I was in the studio where I recorded the final vocal, we're like, oh, should we do the background vocal? Should we do harmony? Should we do that? And I was getting kind of tired, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to be fresh for that. Like, let's leave it for another day. But that we should have done it then because the whole world shut down. And we had like basically everything recorded for the song except for the harmonies. So it pushed that release back at least 3 months until I could get in. Because I could get in there, I think in the summer to do the harmonies, and then I could release. But it was funny that we decided not to record it, and then we couldn't.
Well, it could have been one of those things where if you tried to push through, you just wouldn't have been happy with the harmonies and stuff, because like you said, you were tired and what have you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at the end of the day, it was better that we waited. And I also think I didn't want to wait the 3 months, but it gave me a chance to really hash out my release strategy and kind of dive more into how I wanted to release. And, you have to get the pictures done for artwork, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into releasing. Yeah. So it gave me time to focus on that.
That's true. That's very true. So now that the EP has been out for just a little over a month, first off, have you given any thought about doing any like music videos or anything for any of the singles?
Yeah, so I do have a music video for All In.
Okay.
And I actually released that in the fall, I think in November.
Okay.
Before the whole EP. So I have that music video. I am actually thinking about creating lyric videos for the song. Okay. Because 4 music videos for now is a lot, I find. Yeah. So lyric videos, I'm looking into that. I haven't decided yet, but I might be making them myself. So I'll see if I can do that. But I think it would be really fun to put that up on YouTube. And I know some fans have reached out to me wanting to know like the chords of the songs. And I think it would be a really fun way for them to follow along with the song. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Lyric videos they're really hard to put together, but they're fun. So yeah, I totally get it. And then you'd already mentioned that you're already in the studio working on new music.
is the plan to take this EP and turn it into a full length, or do you want to do another EP or singles, or what's kind of the thought process?
So this EP will probably stay 4 tracks. The brand new music, it honestly will probably go into an album.
Okay.
I have wrote a ton of songs over the past year, and I think I have developed a little bit as a songwriter and artist as well. I was making it my goal to write all the songs on my next project.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll be releasing probably the lead single in, I'm hoping, September. We'll see how fast we can get that out. And then a few more, but there'll be a whole album's worth of music, hopefully within the next year or so.
Hopefully once you get out doing shows and whatnot, you'll shortly afterwards have it ready, which that's got to be exciting, being able to get out and doing shows here, hopefully in the next 3 months or so, with a whole bunch of new music. And so that's got to be exciting. Speaking of shows, you mentioned that you'd been doing a lot of the virtual shows. Sorry. What's that kind of experience been like? Because you haven't really done much as far as playing live, like live in front of an audience, correct? I haven't, no. What's it kind of been like for you as an experience doing virtual shows without very much live experience? I think it's definitely better than nothing for me. I was just getting into live shows before the pandemic. So yeah, you're right. I don't have that much live show experience. I did busk where my university was. Busking is a lot different though than a full band show. Yeah. So I did that for a little bit. Virtual shows have really allowed me to still connect with people, which is great. But as you probably know, it's so different. The feedback isn't there. Yep. The energy isn't there. And eventually when real shows start coming up and I can play like breweries or festivals, or like I want to do a full band instead of just acoustic, because currently it's just me and my guitar for virtual shows. So in order to really showcase these new songs that I have coming out, I would really like to get a full band and, do a show properly and see people in person and meet them afterwards. And so I think virtual has been good, but I honestly can't wait to schedule those and can't wait to get out and see people. Awesome. So an actual in-person show would feature a full band? I'm hoping. I think I'm going to start. I've started to reach out to a few smaller venues that it would be just, acoustic, me and my guitar. But other bigger venues, if I can get, will be full band. Yeah. Cool. Do you have a band that you already work with, or is that still kind of something that you're putting together as well? Still something I'm putting together. I know a lot of musicians who have played on my songs recording with me, and I know that they have a bunch of connections, so I'm still trying to find the right people for that. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And then kind of outside of music, what are some of your hobbies? What do you do when you need a little get away from life time, I guess is the best word. Yeah, so I'm very active. Actually, I've played sports all my life. So currently with the nice weather, I've gotten into running in the past month. So I do that quite often. I also find it helps like clear your head and, just if you're stressed out a little bit, it really helps. And also currently right now I am
working part-time as a
Mhm.
server on a patio.
Uh-huh.
Obviously my goal is to make music full-time eventually,
Yeah.
but until that time, I love serving. I love, connecting with people,
Yeah.
and all my coworkers are amazing. So
Yeah.
it gets me outside and I can make a little extra money that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when music has its limitations right now, as far as
Exactly.
what you're able to make.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about this before we jumped on. What's kind of the outlook as far as when venues will open in Toronto and when shows can start happening again and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I'm hearing like trickles of shows coming in, obviously still outside,
Mhm.
spaced out, like end of July, maybe August.
Okay.
Um, and in terms of like indoor shows, that would definitely be in the fall.
Mhm.
But I'm hearing, I think by end of summer, you can do, if you are playing on a patio or a brewery outside,
Yeah.
or like a drive-in show or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then, so as far as looking forward and moving forward, do you have any virtual shows announced? Are you doing any more virtual shows, or is it just kind of,
So
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. So I do usually do once a week. I do,
Okay.
it's called Music Mondays,
Mhm.
and I go live on Facebook and Instagram
Mhm.
at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I do those usually once a week. It varies sometimes. Some weeks I'll do it a different day or not be able to do it on the Monday. But I try to stick to that at least once a week. And then I'll also have like a few pop-up shows. I think I have a show in a couple of weeks, like a
Mhm.
writers round virtual show.
Yeah.
So I try to schedule those as much as possible as well.
I've seen a couple of the virtual writers round shows, and those are really interesting to watch, especially when like if you don't know what's going on, it's just specifically interesting to watch. But yeah, it's mind-boggling how they're able to make it so smooth like that, because with the lag in the internet and all that stuff, yeah, it's interesting to see virtual writers rounds happen.
It's pretty crazy that we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It really is. No, that's awesome. And so as far as All In, it's been out for a month, a little over a month. What do you want people to know about it that are just learning about you and are gonna go check it out after they see this interview?
Yeah. So I think first of all, when someone's listening to my music, I hope that they have fun, and I hope that they just enjoy the music for the melodies and whatever they like about music. And also, if they are one who is trying to connect to music and find songs that help them in a way, I hope that they can listen to the lyrics and understand the story and be connected to it. And one thing that I really would want them to take away is just, be yourself and go chase your dreams. And that's just the underlying theme of the whole EP.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. I really appreciate you giving us the time to sit down and chat about the new EP and everything else you got coming up. If people want to check out your music and everything else you got going on, where's the best place for them to do that?
So the best place is probably my website. It has everything combined. So it's just emilykatemusic.com. I have links to my merchandise store that I just released last week. I have listened to the songs on there, links to all the streaming platforms, and you'll also see any shows that I've planned soon. I'm on pretty much every platform as well, like on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So yeah, Instagram is just Emily_Kate_music. Facebook is Emily Kate Music, and TikTok is Emily Kate_music as well.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much for jumping on. I really appreciate it. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you guys later.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.